He's doing 50 cases a day. It's overwhelming just to keep up with the crash injuries.
Anas Al-Qassem's friend, Samia Kador, has been operating around the clock since the earthquake struck. His Syrian hospital sustained damage, but there's nowhere else to go. Hundreds of patients have had to be sent home because hospitals just don't have the capacity to care for them.
They have significant lack of antibiotics and painkillers and anesthesia drugs.
Northern Syrian hospitals were already in hard shape before the earthquake, after years of civil war, closed and restricted borders, and a regime accused of diverting aid from the region. But these images, shared by doctors on the ground, show makeshift hospital wards packed with survivors. A system on the brink of collapse. Patients being treated with dwindling supplies like painkillers, while others line outside, suffer, and wait.
So these are crash injuries. They need a complex health care. Hypothermia is a big deal. They need admission to the ICU. Many of them, they need intubation, evacuation of subdural hematoma or abdominal bleeding.
The need is now critical, and it will continue.
For the next phase, you're going to need to do more reconstructive surgery, more plastic surgery for the limbs injuries. But the concern after that is that these fragile communities will be exposed to infectious diseases such as cholera and so forth.
Now, Al-Qassem and a small team from Canada and the US are heading in to help, something he's done many times before during the Syrian war.
I saw that firsthand when I used to go to Aleppo and to Idlib for many medical missions in the last 10 years. They really appreciate when you come and let them relax and give them some social support. And then, the surgeries, we kind of work around the clock doing scheduled surgeries.
And before he goes in, an urgent appeal from the people he hopes to relieve.
He's asking the Canadian government, the Kenyan people, to send supplies immediately as soon as possible. And he's counting on Canada.
And counting on surgeons like Al-Qassem, even if just for a few days.
And Katie, what are doctors telling you about what's happening inside Syrian hospitals?
Well, they're just buckling under the pressure. You have to realize many of the medical staff that have been working 24/7, they've only been getting about 4 hours sleep a night. They're just inundated with people. More than a third of the cases are women and children. They talk about how difficult it is with the children. It's heartbreaking. Some have lost their parents. You hear them crying perhaps a little bit in that story there, and those are the sounds that they're dealing with every day, people crying out. And they're saying that the patients who survive, they are going to need rehabilitation, they're going to need prostheses, long-term care. Add to that the need on the ground for food, shelter, electricity. All of this, doctors say, points to a need to keep that border with Turkey open and porous for years to come.
Katie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up, the push to make Zambonis green. Electric vehicles no longer just for the roads, but first.
Mike Critch live on the scene at Coleman's Grocery in St. John.
Mark Critch takes on a familiar role. My conversation with the famed comic is next.
The Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar, effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
We are backstage at 22 minutes with one of the stars. Mark Critch, how you doing?
Great, this is a prop room. We need lots of props. It's Canada, so you need a curling stone. But look, it's fake. My hand is fake. It's all lies like politics.
It's not all lies, but we have lots of questions for Mark right after this.
There's a few unnecessary things in schools nowadays, you know.
Mark Critch comes from that long line of great Newfoundland comics.
You big baby, you big baby.
John Bear just ran away from me.
He ran onto the national stage 20 years ago. Chasing Politicians on This Hour has 22 minutes.
All right, you go get your chopper. Love you, buddy. Porn actors
taking the news and adding a punchline.
say they have no idea how the bugs got in the soup, since everyone knows insects come with the chili.